How y'all doing? I know it's been like a couple of weeks. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I put out a video. And that's crazy because I'm always putting out videos for you guys. Because I know you guys were like, oh my gosh, I love Perkins. He talks so eloquently good. Y'all like that? Eloquently? I don't really know what that means, but I think that means like exceptionally good, exceptionally well. I think. Anyway, yo, what's rocking, y'all? How y'all doing? Listen, I want to talk to y'all about a word that I never really looked at the definition. I've always heard it in the church settings. I've always heard it in regular settings. I've always heard people use the word, but I never really looked it up. The word vulnerable, vulnerable, right? And to be vulnerable, it's what it means is that it's open. You're open to damage. You're open to being wounded. You're open to be inflicted, right? So when COVID started, right? When COVID started, they said that those who are elderly, those who have um, uh, uh, other types of diseases, they are vulnerable to the pandemic. They are vulnerable to catching COVID, right? And I started thinking about it, right? Because everybody's like, oh, you need to be vulnerable. You need to be vulnerable. You need to be vulnerable. But if you're vulnerable, that means that you're open to attacks. You're open to being emotionally damaged. I don't know about you, but to me that's very interesting. Just to put it like that, because nobody wants to be emotionally damaged. Nobody wants to be damaged. Period. Nobody wants to be in a position where they open up to someone, but yet they get criticized for that. They open up to someone, and yet they get put down for being vulnerable. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. It's to be vulnerable with somebody, to open up, to let them know how you're feeling, to let them know your deepest thoughts, your deepest whatever, to what has happened to you in your lifetime. To be vulnerable with somebody is a very sexy thing. It really is, you know. I was trying to say that. I shouldn't say that word, but well, whatever. But to be vulnerable with somebody is a very powerful thing. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It's not something that should be taken vicariously. It should be something that you take that, you hold it in your hand, and you remember what that person has said to you. You remember that that person has opened up to you. They were being vulnerable. They were open to being damaged. They were open to be wounded. Vulnerable. Have you ever thought about the word? Have you ever really thought about it? Really think about the word vulnerable. You know? Of course, in the Christian community, we say that we need to be vulnerable with other people. We need to be vulnerable with whatever. But at the end of the day, Jesus was vulnerable, right? Jesus was damaged. He was bruised. He was beaten. He was vulnerable. Just being out there in the world, getting spit on, getting whipped on, getting called names, like everything. He was vulnerable with his life, with everything. I'm not telling you that's how we should be, but it's kind of how we should be with people. But you got to be careful who you are vulnerable with. You got to be careful with who you share your. You got to be careful who you share your everything with, because not everybody is willing. Not everybody can accept what you're going to put down. Not everybody can accept what you're going to put on the table. Not everybody can accept your craziness, right? Because we got a lot of craziness in us. We do. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We got a lot of stuff that's in our lives that people just like, that boy is cuckoo, right? Come on, man. Let's be honest. But when you are vulnerable with somebody, when you let them know what has been happening in your life, what goes on in your life, you are being vulnerable in that moment. And it should not ever, ever, ever be taken lightly. It shouldn't. I don't care what you say. That should not be taken lightly. It should not. But of course, it's like, what do you do with all that information, right? They just told you everything about their lives. They just told you all about this. What do you do with that? You remember it. You treasure it. And you thank them for being vulnerable. You thank them for being so open, so transparent with you. Because, I mean, there's been times I've been transparent with people. A lot of times I've been vulnerable with people. Ooh. Okay, never mind. I've been vulnerable with people, and people just been betrayed that. But it's okay, because at the end of the day, God's going to judge them for that, and God has judged them for that. But when you are vulnerable, when you are, I can't speak. It's so early in the morning, y'all. I really can't speak. Anyway, but when you are vulnerable with somebody, you are opening up your life to that person. You know, you're really welcoming them into your circle. You know, and that's powerful. To me, that's powerful. That's like powerful. So, yeah. Y'all, be blessed, y'all. I'll definitely be talking to y'all next time. I'm going to try to just start dropping some videos, because I know y'all been missing. I know y'all like, I know some of y'all just sit at home working and be like, man, when is Perkins going to drop another video? When am I going to see Perkins again? Because he don't drop no video. He don't talk to them. Like, when am I going to see Perkins again? So here I am. I'm going to drop some videos for you guys. And I'm going to be vulnerable with some of y'all. No, I'm kidding. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. But if you ever want to know something, you could always ask. And I always will tell you. Anybody can always tell you that. Anyway, Perkins Talks. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to be a good day. Every day is a good day. Because you know why? Because when you wake up, you claim it. Say that today. It's going to be a good day. Peace and love, y'all.